Welcome back, YouTubers, to the breakdown of chapter 26 of the Turner Diaries. Holy cow, the nuclear bomb has hit the fan in this book. So, Turner tries to find his romantic interest of Catherine, finds out something's happened to her and Bill and Carol, his other buddies that he had left her with. He can't find her, looks all over the place. There's all kinds of refugees leaving the area that they were staying in because it was located rather close to the Pentagon, and the Army or the security forces of the system had set up a perimeter around the Pentagon, and they had moved that perimeter out, and the print shop where Carol, Bill, and Catherine had been staying was inside of that perimeter. So everyone inside of that perimeter was pushed out. So he was hoping that he could find her amongst the refugees. He went to a refugee camp and looked there, and all kinds of horrors were going on at the camp as well. The soldiers were taking advantage of young women and things of that nature. So, you know, he left that camp. He hooked up, you know, with part of his organization, and you know they've been watching the news. He's seen a huge explosion. The organization he thought had taken out Baltimore, but it turns out, you know, they had set off a bomb. Well, they had used some of their nuclear missiles that they had captured at Vandenberg, and they only targeted, you know, I think it was one city in the United States. They targeted New York, and then they sent the rest of their missiles out to the Soviet Union, which caused the Soviet Union to counterattack the United States. And then because of that, the United States, or the system, the government of the United States, fearing, you know, that they were going to, if they didn't act quickly, you know, they could be devastated by the Soviet Union. So they fired all their stuff at the Soviet Union as well. So, you know, the organization basically created a nuclear war, strategically to help them out, which is crazy as hell, you know, especially in our current situation where everybody's talking about nukes again, which is insane. So you've got all these nuclear explosions happening. Millions are dying. I believe the number in the United States in the book was like 60 million died, which, you know, for our current amount of people, and you know, that's about a fifth of the population gone. So that's pretty huge. That's a lot of death and devastation. You know, makes you think, what would you do if there was a nuclear event? I know when I was a young boy, you know, they used to train us to, you know, go in certain areas in the school and put books over our heads and basically, you know, sit on the floor with our head between our knees and books over our head and stuff like that. You know, basically you're going to kiss your ass goodbye. I think they just we're hoping to have a good spot to find all the children together, probably. But you know, it's crazy. You know, if you're that close to a large city, you know, wherever a nuclear explosion goes off, if you're within 20, 30 miles, I mean, you're going to be affected by it, seriously. And as the farther you get away from that epicenter, the safer you'll be and the less effects you'll feel from it. So, you know, you've got all these nukes going off all over our country and all over the Soviet Union. So people are dying, you know, like crazy. And you've got refugees going everywhere. You know, they're loading up their vehicles, but they've got nowhere to go. Where are they going? You know, you've got all these large cities with people taken off out of them with all their belongings, but they've really got nowhere to go. So they're ending up in camps, and in the camps, you know, you've got the soldiers that are in charge of the camps, basically, they can take advantage of them. You know, if you can avoid being a refugee at all costs, avoid being a refugee. I think that's one of the main takeaways for me, anyway. And has always been, you know, never get on the bus, never go to a camp. You know, people in Australia right now are dealing with camps. You know, not necessarily a refugee camp, but a virus camp. You know, so, you know, my advice: stay away from camps, stay away from buses that take you to camps or to unknown locations. Avoid all these things at all costs. Have a plan, you know, plan of evacuation. Where are you going to go if you had to leave your area? You know, would you go to an aunt out in the country or cousin or something? Talk to them now. Let them know, you know, hey, if something ever happens, would you mind? Just so they can kind of mentally prepare for that. They've got that in the back of their head. And if you're really smart, you know, preload their area, leave some of your belongings there, you know, leave a few sets of clothes for you and your family members, maybe a little money, maybe some self-defense items or food, stuff like that, and have that just there in somebody's basement or attic or whatever, so that you have it if you do ever have to bug out, so to speak. And do the same for them. You know, if they have to leave their area to come to yours, you know, why wouldn't you let them come to your place? You know, goes both ways. So some things to think about. You know, the book's, you know, starting to wind down. I think we're about to hit the crescendo. And anyway, I'll check you YouTubers out later. Step back tomorrow for the next chapter, and we'll see you YouTubers around.